That was
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 282 on April 13th,
It is the
2022. Holy crap, it's the 13th already. This is Clyde. As always, I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Always? I'm always here?
Oh, I'm Clyde as always.
Oh, your Clyde is always. Sometimes
And
you're
then
not.
today
That's
I'm joined by Matthew Ross.
Oh,
and
okay. Gotcha.
I think that's Jimmy Tremmel.
Yes, and glad you're always Clyde.
Me too. It'd be kind of confusing if I wasn't.
Well, you know, if you have multiple personalities, you could be somebody else.
I could
Today
be.
we're joined by Seth. I don't know what it is.
Setherin?
Sethern. I don't know. I was just trying to think of something sounding, sinister. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. just as long as I don't end up as a Stephanie.
Oh, you don't want to be the boy named Sue?
Well, I'd be Sue. Just don't call me Stephanie. That's where I draw the line.
Do you happen to know your name if you were to be born as a girl? I do.
You know what my name would have been?
No. I know what my name would have been.
I was like, wow.
I have no idea what your name would have been if you were, but I've been told what my name was going to be if I
Okay.
was going to be. I was going to be a Tiffany.
You still could be.
I would assume that if I had been a girl, I would assume I would have got the name that my oldest sister was named, I suppose.
What's that?
Lisa.
Good name. And there's nothing wrong with Tiffany either. It just doesn't. I mean,
I like Matthew Tiffany. It's got a nice ring to it. And if it had been the other way, then Tiffany Matthew. I mean, it works.
no, that's not what they did. It's not my middle name.
All right.
Hey, how you doing? Are you surviving?
I'm getting by.
The weather cannot decide what it wants to do here. I'm sure it's decided for you, but it has not decided here.
No, dude, I live in perpetual winter where every once in a while we get like this.
Stop spreading your winter over here.
I was, as Jimmy's pointed out many times, I live up in the north. There's we're guarding the U.S. from all the White Walkers in Canada. It's perpetual winter. I was talking with my neighbor yesterday, and she's like, well, this is going to be a long one. And I said, no, it's like this every year. She goes, no. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is like this every year. I said, yeah, I mean, everybody forgets. But I mean, on the 8th of April, I got a reminder from Google, one of those picture reminders from 2018. April 8th was a huge blizzard. And, my car was buried under snow. It's like this happens every year. It's just people block it out.
For us, it seems like for every year we have a really long, what they used to call an Indian summer. It's basically a warm late into the autumn months and getting awfully close to the winter months. And we actually have like a week of snow sometime in December, something like that. And then in January, it tends to slam on us hard. That's what I've been remembering for years and years and years. And then everybody's like, wow, this year, it's so nice that this autumn, we're not getting any snow. It's like, it if you remember, it's done this before.
Yeah,
like this.
people forget. I mean, there was a year where it was so warm in February, we were out riding our motorcycles and we got passed by a snowplow that was looking for something to do because it didn't have any snow to push. Yeah, that's not normal. But that was the 1 year for that. Every other year, February's been absolutely brutal. But yeah, I don't know. People don't think beyond recent
They
memories.
think of what they remember it like in their head.
They remember the landmarks.
It's
you
a
know,
head canon. Yeah.
I always hear about the Halloween blizzard of like 1992. It's like, but it snows on Halloween all the time. Well, but that year, like, yeah, but it was, it was like one of the last years that a lot of those people were going to be trick or treating. So it's a huge deal in their head because they got robbed. Yeah.
What, you don't go trick or treating even though it's snowing? No, guys.
Well,
go.
when it's a blizzard and people were trapped in their houses.
Doesn't matter. That just means there's less kids to compete with for
Yeah,
more
it just
candy.
means you got more dead kids.
Oh, sorry, that's not good.
No,
Don't do that.
no.
Couldn't you take them to the shopping mall and just let them trick or treat there?
Yeah, I don't think they had a lot of shopping malls in the early 90s.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, the
They were-
Mall
that
of
was the-
America
that-
wasn't even open yet.
Well, but malls were big in the 80s and 90s. Though.
In certain areas, but like there's no mall. The closest mall to me here there would be like, half hour away.
That's not. Well, that's fine.
But in a blizzard, that's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking half hour, like good weather.
Good days. Yeah. Farther and fewer between seems like, but I'm sure it's normal. Just like this show normally talks about streaming technology news. I guess. All right. Let's start off with IMDb TV. IMDb TV is the streaming service that Amazon picked up and has been providing the free ad-supported way of you watching a bunch of their shows.
It was that was their creation because they owned a IMDb long before the streaming service.
True, but the original name of it was
something else.
Was something else. They actually had a different name for it.
Well, I mean, it's been a good. Have you used it?
I used IMDb TV, I think once or twice, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's been fine, and it's a name that makes sense because it's tied to a TV property, and everybody knows IMDb.
Right.
Everybody uses IMDb,
That's
and the
exactly
fact
why
that you can look up a show and then be like, watch it now on here.
IMDb TV.
Okay. Yeah, makes perfect sense. So
Totally
they adding new content or
Nope. No,
what?
no, they're changing the name.
Hopefully it's something cool.
It's Freevee.
Wait, hold on. What is it?
Freevee. I don't know how to say this cleanly. It's called Freevee. Freevee. And although I think I'm going to start calling it Freve from this point on, just so
Freve.
in spite. Freve.
This is stupid.
IMDb IMDb is kind of more of the, hey, I want to see which actor was in that movie and or who is the director of that. And it is really good for that. And it being attached to a streaming service, well, good and at least parallel kind of business. I personally didn't think of IMDb as a streaming service first, but now I was kind of used to it, so I kind of understand both sides of this coin.
But that was kind of the beauty of it, right? Is nobody's gonna think of Freevee. I mean, I have to explain to people what some of the other like non-traditional ad-supported services are. Now there's another one. It's like a perfect example, my mom. My mom doesn't do really anything on the internet, but she understands what IMDb TV is. And I was able to, when I told she wanted to watch something, I said, oh, you can watch it on IMDb TV. She goes, what? She said, isn't that the site where you look up TV shows? So I said, yeah. She goes, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's adjacent, which is good.
Right.
It does, but that disconnect is there, which I totally understand. Your mother's
disconnect. I mean, and I'm trying to think of one of the five ad-supported services that we've used and tried over the years, and I can't name a single one off the top of my head because they all have
Pluto.
stupid names. Well, I mean, I'm not going to count Pluto because Pluto is a little bit different. Because Pluto is trying to set up like channels,
Right.
but I mean, but you've got all these things. I can't think of them off the top of my head. IMDb, perfect.
The other one that I would put in there that's similar to how IMDb is TV would be Roku TV's free streaming service because it is also a kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. A lot of the other ones.
See, now,
Tubi, I couldn't even. I had to dig deep into my memory palace to figure out where the hell I stashed Tubi. It was under a couch, under a couch cushion. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, to be or not to be.
Exactly.
See, I would like this. If what I want a service that is ad free.
So you add ads.
That
to
sounds
take away
dirty. Ad free V. That sounds dirty.
See, in other words, I want the inverse of this. I want it to be an ad free service rather than just a free TV service.
Oh, you know what? You know what free V sounds like?
You're getting a freebie.
No. It sounds like it's just 24/7 the movie and TV series of V for free. You get to watch it anytime you want. You want to see famous people swallowing rats and peeling off their faces to show their reptilian skin. Didn't you ever watch V?
No.
What?
I never watched.
Dude, you were like totally the demographic that if I had to pick one person that I know that definitely watched V,
It's not me.
I would have expected you. I'm pretty sure Jimmy and Wabbit probably were familiar peripherally because of its cultural significance in the early 80s.
I was also peripherally aware of it and Alien Nation, but those are the only one. But I never actually watched.
Yeah, you got to watch the miniseries. The TV show, not so much, but the miniseries
back when
definitely.
It was on, I think there was some other show I was watching at the time. So I never did watch it, but I did know.
Yeah, I figured Jimmy would be too cool to have watched it, but he would know at that, young enough to be busy. But it was popular enough that he was aware of it.
Right.
I wasn't old enough to watch it when it was first out, but I watched it many years later because I remember the buzz about it. And it was like, I gotta see.
I wonder if you'll be able to watch it on Freevee. We'll see.
Freebies.
All right. We have a story here about the Meta, the guy that company that's used to be Facebook. They're working again to make their metaverse a thing, and they've made some announcements about how pricing structure is going to work inside of the metaverse.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I know it's going to be really good. So, as of course, if you are going to be making a thing and selling it in Horizon Worlds, the Horizon Worlds will charge you 17.5% fee for you to sell stuff through that, which is actually not a horrible. That you're getting 83% of your, or 82%, 82.5% of your revenue off of that. So
Out of how much?
So if you sell something through the Horizon Worlds, which is their metaverse world that they're making, the Horizon Worlds is going to charge 17.5%, which actually compared to
in addition to the 30% that they're also taking.
Right.
So they're taking 47.5%.
On top of that, Meta has fees that if you are buying anything through the Meta store, aka through the App Store, that the Meta. So if you do buy it through the App Store and through that Horizon Worlds marketplace, they're taking almost half of any money that you make.
Wow.
Yeah, they're taking 30% from the store, and then Horizon Worlds gets their 17.5 cut. Yeah,
Right.
no,
Right.
this is ridiculous. I I
So-
feel like they're intentionally trying to make this thing fail.
It sounds like it.
Three thoughts come to mind. First, there's still no legs. That's still weird. Two, this is a huge opportunity for a somebody to sell stuff not through the meta store. Still go, pay that 17.5% fee, and but basically make a lot more money because you're not. It's like they don't want you to use their store. Third thing, this is a huge opportunity for a outside party to do something similar. And I'm sorry, Apple comes to mind as the company who's going to come in
Now
here.
Apple can come in with the white knight and say, you know what? We'll only take 30%.
Exactly. And it's going to sound good. And it's going to be like, what's wrong with you, Meta? You're setting yourself up for a huge, for not competing.
I swear, I'm pretty sure that this is actually, this whole boondoggle is just a tax dodge. It's kind of like it's the producers of VR. They've got 300% of the money raised through investors, all of which have a 50% cut. They need this to fail. They need this to absolutely fail. Yeah.
Yeah. What Matt said earlier there, right? Makes me wonder, and especially if you look at the picture of the article, makes you wonder. I wonder how much it would cost to buy a pair of legs for your avatar.
Well, yeah, whatever the cost is.
That's the other 50%.
That's why you're missing 40.
Yeah.
It's 50% you're missing. It's the legs
Yeah.
you're missing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you want to offer something in your app that has legs, you have to provide them with the additional 50%. So you get 0.5% of your sale.
Oh, dude. So I'm sorry. I cannot properly make the joke. I cannot
2.5.
properly make the joke, but somebody else can. This product doesn't have legs. So
Yeah.
It's so meta.
Okay. All right. DirecTV Stream has provided users with a new guide. I feel like we might have spoken about this last week, but it is now coming out onto other platforms, including the Apple TV platform, which it is brand new to this week. This is the guide which will provide you with the ability to see a good channel style guide, whether you can sort alphabetically or sort by channel number, because channel numbers are still a thing for lots of people. And if you were to select one of the titles, you would be able to see many hours ahead on a single screen of the upcoming shows on that channel. So you can get this nice, easy to read guide. Now, it may sound weird to us, but to the people who are still, cable subscribers, which will remind you are still most of the people are still on cable, going to DirecTV Stream versus DirecTV seems like a natural, easy move. And having a good guide like this that is very much like what they are used to on other services also makes them very familiar for them. If they can do this right, this is a big deal to a lot of people out there. So absolutely. Good job on them.
Yeah, I swear this is like their old guide that they got rid of when it was originally their original offering that they renamed 5 times and then came back to it. But yeah, a good guide is a big deal. So congratulations. You finally did something right. Now it's time to break it.
Well, that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Related, DirecTV Stream is also adding a sports team recording option. So if there's a specific team you like to watch, no matter what, they will put it on your DVR and record it automatically. If the game somehow gets extended, they will automatically extend the recording to make sure it gets to more of those games. And also, it will give you the option, I sure hope it's the option, I'm not certain, of showing you the scores on your recording and or live viewing of the channel. You can actually see what the current score is. If you want, I sure hope that's something you can turn off, because I'm sure there are plenty of people who would not want that option. Don't tell me the score. I want to watch the game.
Yeah, I've known a couple people that record every game from their favorite team, but they only watch if their team won. Because what's the point? What's the point of sitting through? So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, and I kind of don't fault them for that, because it's like, especially like baseball, if your team's gonna play like 100 games, and you're gonna be able to watch at least 50 of them.
It's not bad. You're right.
You know, do I need to sit and watch the entire game every day that it was televised? Probably not. I'll watch the ones where my team won and I get to be excited, and then the other ones, who cares?
Yeah.
As a baseball fan, but not a super fan, I think it's weird if you watch every single game of your team, because, dude, you got other stuff to do, and baseball's designed to be background noise. So you can do other stuff while you're watching the game, or just not have it on in the background and turn your head when something exciting happens. That's the point.
Well,
That's what makes it great.
unless you're only allowed to drink while you're watching baseball, then
Well,
it's a very good excuse to watch baseball.
I love baseball. It's the only time I get to drink. That's why I watch baseball.
Leave me alone, baseball. Okay. No, but the whole auto extend thing's good. That's one of the benefits. You know, if you're gonna offer something that TiVo did 20 years ago, this is the one way to really upgrade it, because that was the one downside with TiVo, is you never knew, and a lot of times all that scheduling was downloaded ahead of time. So you. Later, they tried adding auto extend, but it didn't always work, because, you know, your TiVo wasn't guaranteed to be able to get the update in time before it cut off the recording.
Right.
Now, since it's being recorded in the cloud and there is no physical tape, there is no hardware storage limitation, they're recording that channel nonstop. So there is no excuse. If anybody is cutting off the game when it's extended, the question is, why?
Well, you can fix it in post if you had to.
Exactly.
If you're recording it.
Exactly.
I could see. Oh, your recording got stopped early because the timer was up. But in the next 4 hours, we will have it fixed for you, so you can watch the entire game or something like that.
Yeah.
I could see that kind of solution happen. In
Oh
that
yeah,
case. But
sorry.
nowadays,
In a couple minutes, it'll just buffer, and by the time you get to the end of the game, it'll be there. Because someone just needs to go in and change the time code on the file.
Right.
You know. Yeah. No, this is cool. It's about time, and I can't believe that this was still an issue. It seems so last century.
Speaking of baseball, Major League Baseball has signed another deal with another streaming company to provide some of their games online. That's right. If you want to watch your Friday game, you get to watch it on Apple TV Plus. If you want to watch your Sunday game, you got to move to Peacock. Peacock got a 2-year deal, paid about $30 million every year to make it happen. And I'm looking at this list, and I don't have my Mariners on it, so whatever. I don't care.
You know, when they first started announcing like these specialty weekly games on a specific platform, like they've been
Amazon
doing
football,
Thursday. Yeah, they've been doing
Thursday
Thursday Night Football on Amazon forever, whatever. It was okay, but now we're getting pretty. There's too many places. How do you keep track of where you watch baseball? You know, it's bad enough when it's, well, this game's on ESPN, this game's on NBC. Now you also got to remember, well, it's a home game, but it's blacked out, so I got to go to here. But, oh, crap, it's a Thursday. So is Thursday Peacock or is that Amazon? But it's a Thursday that falls on, you know, solstice or whatever. So it's on this other thing. And, you have to be an extra paying member for that game. I don't know.
Right.
It's too complicated.
the Apple TV's Friday night games are, I believe that they announced that they were going to be, you don't have to actually have a subscription to watch, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Now, I do not know if this is going to be on the free tier for Peacock. I think it should be. It's going to have ads. So,
Yeah. Well,
I mean, hey, Peacock, can I pay extra and watch the game with no ads?
well, that's the problem with baseball. What are you going to watch? What are they going to stream to you?
It's going to be them standing around during those ad breaks, and they're going to, if you've ever been to a game, they put cool things up on the board. They do cool, singing songs and lots of stuff during those breaks.
Yeah. That reminds me. I think it was 98 World Series. I was out at sea, and the Padres were in the World Series. I think it was 98. And they tried this new innovative thing where I think Trevor Hoffman was the catcher at the time. Well, they put a camera on his helmet so that anytime in the game they could switch to the catcher's view. Well, it was between innings or through the next inning he's in the dugout. He took it off and he set it on the ground. They switched over to the camera to see what's going on. And he's just standing there. The camera's pointed right up as his crotch as he's got his hand in his pants just digging around. And they just left it there.
Oh, no.
It was like, seriously,
Baseball
somebody
players.
cut to something else. 'Cause he has no clue he's on the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the kind of stuff that, you could get without commercials. Just
one correction: Trevor Hoffman was a pitcher.
Okay, Trevor Hoffman was a pitcher. I'm trying to remember who the catcher was at the time. Somebody, Bad Weave will probably correct me at some point. He's a wealth of baseball knowledge. But
One more baseball piece of news. It looks like Prime Video are going to get 21 Yankees games this year. They will be able to, if you are in one of 4 states that are exclusively in the Yankees area. I think the old network was called the Yankee Entertainment Sports Network, also known as Yes. This area was exclusive to Yankee games, and it looks like Prime Video is basically purchased that out and is going to be providing it in those 4 states. And I'm trying to see which states they are going to be: New York State, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Northeast Pennsylvania, North and Central New Jersey, not all of New Jersey. So there you go. You will be able to watch your Yankees games on your what used to be known as Yes Network on Prime Video this year.
all right, congratulations.
You are right. The proliferation of various places you have to go to watch the games. I having been talk to real baseball and sports guys. I'll call it. You may call him a jock. I'm calling him a sports nerd. He was so well, if this happens, then this game is going to be moved to here and it's going to be happening over there. This has nothing to do with what channel it's on. He's just talking about teams moving around and so they are already on top of this, kind of trying to understand where things are and how things are going to happen, how to follow along and that kind of stuff. So it's just another wrinkle that they love to follow, I suppose.
I'll point out, jocks are inherently, as the name would suspect, or would say, they are inherently athletic. If you've ever been to a sporting event, sports fans are typically not. So you don't have to be a jock to be a sports fan.
Well, that's
I'd say most people are sports fans because they are not athletic.
Yeah, but there's
they watch because they can't do.
There's also a lot of people who could, or maybe when they were younger, could.
But I was just saying the higher
do
percentage would not of sports fans would not fall into the jock category.
Fair enough. I apologize. I didn't mean to generalize the people.
Yeah, don't group us unathletic people in with those people.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey, did you know you could listen to audiobooks?
Like Audible is like
Did you
the
know
only
that
one.
Did you know that there are things outside of Audible to listen to audio?
No, because Audible is like literally the only provider of
Audible,
audiobooks.
the Audible used to be independent, but they got bought by
Well, they
Amazon.
clearly name their product because they are the only book that is audible.
Well,
They may be other read books, but you can't hear them.
I listen to my read books on different platforms, but okay. Barnes and Noble is finally coming out with their own answer to Audible, with what they're calling the Barnes and Noble audiobook service. I guess is what they're calling it. This will allow you to spend $15 a month for a subscription to offer recurring monthly credit. It has access to 300,000 titles, well-known apps, well-known titles. This is basically them stepping into this game, and quite frankly, what took you so long?
I think we got the wrong headline here.
Well, yeah, sometimes that happens.
I'm pretty sure this story was meant to be Barnes and Noble is still a thing.
Yes, they are. I go to my local Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought they had gone the way of what was the other big bookstore that went out of business a long time ago, but
Tower Books.
No,
Tower Records.
Tower Books.
No.
Tower Books was my living room before I found a decent shelf.
Tower Books. No bookshelves.
Actually, I've been in kind of stores like that.
Borders.
Yeah, Borders. Yes.
Thank you, Wabbit.
Yeah.
No human being would stack books this way.
I don't know if I would.
The problem with
is that a good price?
It's exactly the same price it is for Audible. Audible's $15 a month for however many credits they give you a month.
Don't you get free Audible credits with your with a Prime membership?
They give you access to specific books that are available for free.
Okay.
And they also, I don't think they give you any Audible credits though.
Okay.
But you can pay for Audible and get 1 or 2 credits per month.
Yeah.
For a certain amount of money, for $10 or $15 a month. And almost all the books are 1 credit too.
Then my other question is, did they pay someone to reread all these titles?
Excellent question, because Audible owns most of those. Not all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are actually done by third parties and then sold to be resold through Audible. There are, for example, I do actually listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I actually pay for them through the Google Books app.
Okay.
And they're fine. I don't have as big a selection as Audible because Audible has a lot of their own stuff that they make.
Yeah.
But any of those ones on the Google Play Books app that are audiobooks, I'm sure are going to be available on the Barnes & Noble app. And I suspect Barnes & Noble would be happy to spend a decent amount of money to get their own production team going, start reading these books. Here's the thing. I bet you there are plenty of people who'd be happy to read books, and a good portion of those people are probably actually good at reading them.
I was just trying to wrap my brain around that, because it seems weird to have multiple versions of the same book out there read by different people. Then you have to decide, well, which version do I want? But would you read an audiobook read by Gilbert Godfrey?
I believe he has done several. I would not be.
He would be a good one.
Okay. Well, somebody get on that.
But I guess I'm glad to see him try to stay relevant. But but there's service. Audible's that's one that's been around for a while, and there's a new one out there now called Script-D. Script-D really looks pretty like a strong competitor.
So the problem is, of course, the market effect of being able to basically own the books, and nobody else can basically take those books away from you or do something because of those books that you already have. Since it's a siloed kind of market where yes, you bought book 1 through Audible. It's not like when book 2 comes out, you would want to necessarily buy it through the other one because you already got it through the same market. Moving to another one is difficult.
That's the whole reason I refuse to buy music from any of those services like iTunes or Google, whatever. Because, and same thing complaint people have with buying videos. I own the entire season of whatever on this platform, but you know, I've got Leprechaun 4 on Google Play. No, and that's like for Movie Party, all of the movies I buy, I end up buying them from Amazon just because I had a couple on Amazon and then I chose, well, what's my one repository of stuff I'm going to own?
Right.
I'll just put it there.
Yeah. But the good thing, the movie side has done the one thing right, which is they did the Movies Anywhere thing, which can allow most of those to move around.
But like stuff I buy on Amazon doesn't show up in Movies Anywhere.
Yes, it should.
Does it? Oh, okay.
Yes, it should. And your Google stuff should suddenly move over to Amazon and vice versa, as long as they're not a Lionsgate property. Essentially, it's the studios that are.
Yeah, I own 2 movies on Google, in the Google store, and they're both Leprechaun movies. Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun in Space. And I own them there because that was the only place I could get them. Mm-hmm. And so I have these. Everything else is basically in Amazon, and and those 2 movies are in Google. And I keep forgetting that I have them because I don't look at Google Play for anything.
You should look into seeing if you can, at Movies Anywhere, get them moved over to your Amazon so you can have them all in one repository.
And also, to Jimmy's service, are you sure it's not Scribed? I know it's spelled S-Scrib-D, but wouldn't it be Scribed? Because
I've heard it called both.
Because Scrib-D sounds like a rapper from like Tallahassee.
I thought S-Crib-D. I thought this was like a Linux daemon. That's when you start up the computer, it takes care of your crib, your super crib. I don't know.
It was S-Crib-D was the where they went after S Club 7. You remember S Club 7?
No, I don't.
Look them up. There was a like early 2000s kind of pop dance group.
Okay. All right. So I'm just curious. Are any of you fans of the game Myst?
I own all of the Myst games.
Really?
I've only played one, but I own them all.
I played the original game Myst a little bit and was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I played more of Seventh Guest than Myst, so I kind of missed that one. That was not intended to be a pun, but apparently there's a version of Myst now coming out. It's going to be VR, and I think I might play this version because it's not Myst. It's Myst VR mini golf.
So they're basically doing a skin of Walkabout mini golf, which people have raved about.
Walkabout mini golf as a VR mini golf, and they're making a new level that you're going to be able to buy, which is the Myst world as a mini golf course, which sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
lots of water, a lot of water hazards, a
lot of cliffs and precarious railings, and I know I've mentioned before that I think that that Myst was a prime real estate for VR. That there was a lot of potential in Myst, especially going back and redoing the original games that they've kind of remastered a couple times. Redo them as VR. So I was not surprised when I saw this. I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
They should take all those early CD-ROM games that were from the person point of view, like Myst, like The Seventh Guest, and totally VR them. That would be actually pretty fun.
Or you know what else you could do, right? Is actually go out and play a real game of mini golf.
Yeah, whatever.
It's still snowing. Where am I going to play mini golf?
Maybe in Minnesota this would be something, right? But in Florida, you'd actually just go out and play an actual real game of mini golf.
Get off my virtual lawn. All right. How about this? If you have been an HBO Max user and you've been using your HBO Max on an Apple device, Apple TV, you may have been frustrated recently due to the various issues that have been having with it. The issues like it being locking up, playback not starting, or being kind of horrible. They're scrubbing utility that would let you try to get you to scrub between what scenes of a movie not working at all. Has been plaguing the device for a while. Looks like it is now coming out with a new version of the app. It's getting a very major overhaul. It's going to look a lot similar as far as what the interface goes, but the main screen gets a big overhaul. So you will be able to have a nice big old banner on the top to let you know what's new coming up on it. And it apparently runs a lot smoother and a lot better. So it actually works, which is a good thing.
Yeah. This was a reminder that this was purely an Apple issue.
Yes, it was.
Their apps did not have problems on Roku, Android TV, browser. Those are the three that I've used. But
not a lot. Initially there was a little hiccup.
There was a issue on Roku, but that was due to the OS upgrade.
Right.
They probably didn't check a box or review
HBO
something.
Max, also the Roku has its own built-in media players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is they didn't do something.
HBO Max chose not to use those initially, and there were some issues with their version of the media players they were trying to use. Apparently, HBO Max obviously was kind of rushed, and they used older versions of software in order to make the Apple TV device one work well, and apparently those older versions.
Well, they had to. Because if you remember a while back, they tried to go to a new player, and then the Apple TV was like, "Nope, this won't even work," and they had to roll back and go to this older thing just to make it work on Apple TV. Because they had rolled out a new player to everyone, and then they had to roll it back on Apple. That's all I remember. That was like a year ago, maybe more.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Disney Plus is going to have its first live TV show. They are going to be streaming a live show starting this. Is it this summer or next year? I don't remember. Anyways, they're taking the normally on ABC TV show Dancing with the Stars, and they're going to be taking it and putting it directly on Amazon, on Disney Plus for you to watch live. And if you know anything about Dancing with the Stars, you do your voting, which is kind of nice. And for me on the West Coast, because we did watch Dancing with the Stars at least years ago, I used to watch it. I might be able to vote because I was always shown like a recorded earlier version, which always sucks. It's like, so they already voted. Somebody has already the competition's already over. You don't get to participate. So
they should show the scores live, so they like DirecTV, so that you know whether or not it's worth watching that episode.
Oh, my dancer! He's losing. I gotta go watch and put in my vote. No, that
hey, I'm gonna put in my vote for a thing that was recorded like 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said you used to watch this like years ago.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that this show has fallen into the category where it's not popular enough for that expensive live broadcast slot on ABC, but it's still popular enough. People probably watching it on Hulu that they can count on the streaming numbers and possibly, hopefully, bump up their Disney Plus numbers a little bit. There's probably going to be some backlash from people like I would say people like me. Not that I watch it, but in the fact that I am someone that could watch it on Hulu, but I am not signing up for Disney Plus for this show. You know, they may like it enough to watch it streaming, but not enough to pay for a new subscription on a different service.
So all of these shows, every single one that's like this, which is basically whether it be competition or just a gag show or something, or a game show or something like that, almost all of them, they depend on star power to get you to be interested in watching it. And that's the thing about this show. It's about, I like that actor, I like that singer, I like that athlete. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be watching them try to compete in a dancing competition. I'm sorry, but I feel like all the people they're picking, I don't know who they're picking anymore, or could care less about.
Because they're all people that are now popular with the younger people.
So obviously my demographic has changed. The demographic of who was popular on the show has changed, and I'm missing. Also, I don't know if they ever got Len back, but Len was very important.
I don't know who Len is.
Len was the one guy
Len Peralta?
Don't think it's Len Peralta. I think his name was Len. He was the one guy on the judging board who was really judging them for what they did. And if he didn't like it, he'd give you a bad score, and really, and he would not mince words. Well, he would kind of mince words, but he tried not to, because he's like, no, it's not good. It's not good. So, but he was getting old, and he was getting, I think he went back to England to do his own show over there. So, but he was also a lot of fun because it was fun to see Len's reaction to things. I don't know. I enjoyed watching Len do his thing. I don't know. I suspect we'll get this household will give it a try, and we'll see if it's any good.
It's interesting that Disney Plus is getting something live, right? I think this is their first one.
It is,
right?
and that's the big deal.
I think that was the whole point of this story, right. And they kind of got lost in the I almost said DTNS because I'm thinking of Len Peralta. They got lost in the Dancing with the Stars.
DTWS.
Yes, DTWS.
DWTS. Boy, those two. That's right. Those two are so close, and we both have Lens. It's horrible. So this story here is basically, hey, it's actually happened. Warner Media has merged with Discovery. We now have a new company called Warner Bros. Discovery. It's the stuff that dreams are made of.
Because we need to check in with Jimmy.
Oh.
Have you gotten your new stocks? Did they split?
They did split. I got the stocks on Monday morning.
Breaking news. You heard it here. Jimmy got his new stocks. It's officially done.
Yeah, the new ticker symbol is WBD.
I'm pretty sure that's an abbreviation for something dirty as well.
Pretty much everything is. I could select 3 random letters and you'd be like, no.
Yeah, so they did split, and the price, I mean, it's only been a couple of days now, or 3 days, I guess, now trading, and the price has actually gone up a little bit, surprisingly enough. Bank of America gave them a higher rating, and as a result, the stock went up.
I get it. No, I see why it looks dirty, because that's backwards. It's BBW backwards.
Oh.
It's a big, beautiful woman.
Okay.
Apparently they like their big, beautiful women backwards.
All right. Netflix is going to provide you with a new way for you to just let you know if you like their show or not. Clyde, I understand you have spent a lot of time in Netflix using the thumbs up and thumbs down
No,
option.
I've spent a lot of time not using the thumbs up and the
that's
thumbs down.
Because you used to use the
stars. The stars made sense.
Well, now we have a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and 2 thumbs up, which, it provides additional information to Netflix. According to what I've read here, it says that they will take that information and maybe try to give you recommendations that are around either actors that you tend to do thumbs up, or around certain showrunners or directors or genres that you tend to 2 thumbs up.
I noticed this the other day and I went, ugh. Because even if I wanted to 2 thumbs up a show, I am not going through. I've been rating stuff on Netflix since 2010, late 2009, early 2010. I am not going back 11 years worth of watch history to properly rate that stuff. No. And I think it's dumb. It's almost as dumb as why have a downvote on YouTube if it doesn't actually do anything publicly.
I mean, 2 thumbs up. I mean, I like the reference to Siskel and Ebert, right?
But you also needed 2 thumbs down, which they don't have.
Oh, they don't. You can't.
No,
do 2 thumbs down?
Which is why it's even more dumb.
Okay. Yeah, that is dumb.
Yeah, it's thumbs down, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
And if they were going to do Siskel and Ebert, they would have to have the ability to give it both thumbs up and thumbs down, because that would be Siskel and Ebert.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be All right. Next story we have here is that Fox Sports is going to be able to carry every match of the 2022 World Cup. The first match will be on November 21st. So you'll be able to watch your Fox Sports to watch all of the World Cup games this year. And I think that's even online. So no, you'll have to pay a TV subscription to use the Fox Sports app. So you will have to have some other cable style subscription in order for you to sign in if you want to watch it through the app. So welcome back to 1999, when you could do that back then.
All right. The only thing I know about the World Cup is I was in Marseille, France, when they won some kind of game during the World Cup. And the only reason I knew that was because the streets exploded and people came running out of buildings. And was like, what is going on? They were, because they were hosting, like France was hosting that year. So it was a big deal.
I was actually working in Brazil one of the years that 2002 when they won the World Cup. And I was working in Brazil, and it was, I forget what country it was in that year, but it was like 4:00 in the morning. I was dead asleep and got woken up by the cheering because Brazil won the World Cup.
Yeah, and I should add, I assume it was somebody won a soccer game because number one, France was hosting the World Cup that year, and number two, I can't think of a single sport that France competes in other than soccer. So yeah, I don't think there's French football, like American style football or French baseball. So
if you are the kind of sports head that loves your sport, us baseball guys and us on our 100+ games that we watch, that's nothing based on what you could possibly watch if you're a soccer fan. FIFA Plus is a streaming service, which I think we said might be coming, is now officially coming out, getting out of the way of any broadcasting shenanigans.
Wait.
This is going to be ad-supported network that will be providing up to 40,000 live games per year available for you to watch. Yeah, just a few. It's going to start off with like 1,400 matches a month, and they're going to try to get it closer to 4,000 matches per month for you to watch as they continue to get this service going. It's going to have all kinds of places for you to watch from, and this is them basically trying to make soccer the FIFA thing that you can't escape. So
didn't we just establish that Fox is the new home for FIFA?
They're just getting this year's World Cup. That's it. After that,
but the point is, what is there beyond the World Cup?
The other games.
There are no other games. The only thing that matters is the World Cup.
Okay.
No,
think of it this way: NBA is the NBA seasons, and then versus the Olympics. The winning the gold medal in basketball in the Olympics. That's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
Well, that is the week's news.
All right. Well, that brings us to the point in the show where I like to wax poetic or attempt to.
Here he goes again.
I know. I try my best to speak eloquently and in hopes that we will be rewarded by someone who is enticed by my carefully chosen words. But the problem is 90% of the time, those words aren't as carefully chosen as I thought they would be. And you know what? There are still people that support us regardless.
That's amazing.
And notice I did not say irregardless. Oh. I hate when people say irregardless. No, that's not. Yeah. Regardless of my shortcomings, people out there still find value in what we do, and they choose to support us by patreon.com/thebod squad. To those select few of you, you are awesome. And you are our favorite people in the world. And if you would like to be one of our favorite people, even more favorite than you already are, patreon.com/thebot squad. Every little bit helps.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, let's get into some rants and some raves. Okay, who wants to go?
I'll start. I watched 2 movies, which one of them was Enola Holmes, which at this point is pretty old.
That was a movie? I thought that was a series.
Well, it's a 2-hour movie on Netflix.
Oh.
It's made by Legendary Pictures, so I think it was intended to be a movie, but okay. Netflix picked it up kind of thing. And I thought it was fine. I had no problem with it. It was a perfectly fine little movie. It was good. The other movie I watched was, I think I mentioned this last week, maybe in the post show. Of course, I went to go see the new Sonic movie with my son because, he's a big nut for Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay. Sonic 2 is, so all I have to say about Sonic 2 is the first Sonic movie was remarkably good. And Sonic 2 was just as good, which is high praise, quite frankly, because, it's a fun movie. It's not going to win any kind of awards other than maybe Kids' Choice Award. I could see it win a Kids' Choice Award, but it's good. Lots of fun.
Was Jim Carrey in it again? Or was there a different bad guy?
No. Okay. Jim Carrey reprised his role as Dr. Eggman, aka Dr. Robotnik. Yes, both names are true. And he once again did an excellent job of being that goofy, weird, mischievous bad guy for our and also, if you know anything about how the games work and how the story, there actually is story to the games. It tries to follow the logic of the games and what's happening in the games. It's actually good. Also, I must ask you to take a moment when you can, if you want to really appreciate somebody who put hard work into something, find the front title graphic of the Sonic 2 game and then find the poster art for Sonic 2 the movie and see how closely they match those two. It's actually pretty awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to know what my favorite Sonic game is, or do you want to guess? Guess what my absolute favorite Sonic game is.
Sonic Pinball.
Actually, no. But that would be a good guess.
It's a pinball game. Sounds like fun.
It was Sonic All-Stars, which was like a tennis game.
Oh.
I think
Okay.
it came with my Xbox 360. That was the only Sonic anything that I ever really played a lot.
Cool.
Yeah.
I still have many. My son still buys the Sonic and Mario and Sonic at the whatever games, Olympic Games every year. And they come out. It's like, okay. Actually, the funny thing about those is those become collector's items because they don't sell a lot of them. And then later on, it's like, it's a rare Nintendo game that has Sonic in it. And suddenly they become, like hard to find and people want to pay good money for them. It's kind of weird.
I will say the one weird thing about playing Sega All-Stars or Sega Superstars Tennis, I guess that's what it was called, Sega Superstars Tennis. So I was playing it, and there was all these weird characters, and I thought they were all Sonic characters because I don't know anything about Sonic universe other than Tails, and apparently, nope, this was Sega Superstars. So it had all these Sega characters that I thought were Sonic characters. So
yeah, there's a lot of them on there. Wow.
Yeah. So, okay. Jimmy, what you got?
All right. So, I think we alluded to it in the show, or maybe at least in the pre-show, right? That Gilbert Gottfried passed away a couple of days ago. I think, kind of sad there. He wasn't all that old. He was only 67, I believe, was how old he was. So anyway, on Peacock, there is a documentary called Gilbert. And it's a documentary of him. It's a recent documentary. And if you haven't watched that, that's worth watching, right? It shows him, as a person as opposed to the stage presence, although there's plenty of the stuff that he would do on stage in the documentary as well. And one thing that, not only was it a nice story of him, he had a wife and a couple of kids as well, and talks about them. But other comedians come in and kind of give their perspective of Gilbert, right? In talking about his art of comedy, and how he would perform and that kind of thing. So it was quite interesting. And there's even a bit in there where Gilbert Gottfried is there with Dick Van Dyke, which I was surprised to see that Dick Van Dyke was still living, right?
Oh yeah, he was on Gilbert's podcast a couple months ago.
Yeah, he's like in his 90s now, right? And he's and looking pretty good, I would say, in this in the documentary, So if you were even if you weren't a Gilbert Gottfried fan, I would say this is worth a watch. It was very interesting, and like I say, just hearing all the other comedians, right, give their opinion of it, and it was really kind of fun to watch.
Cool. Yeah, I watched that documentary a while back, and it was good.
So I would say normally if you were to make a bad Guilford Gottfried joke now, it would be too soon, but it's Guilford Gottfried. It's not too soon.
Yeah, in
this case, it's not.
No, that's definitely, that's his modus operandi. So
what's the documentary, and just for old time's sake, I guess you could watch the Aflac Duck commercial.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. So you could probably do some type of Aflac insurance joke here, and the joke would.
Well, no, because Aflac will sue you.
Oh well, okay.
Because it was Aflac that was
Oh, that's
the
right. And
not.
they got in
They
got
were
in
the
trouble
ones.
with-
They were the ones that didn't find it funny. The
Uh-huh.
public outcry.
right.
Everybody else thought it was funny.
Well, no,
Remember
he-
that Gilbert Gottfried is the dude that showed up at that first roast in New York post 9/11, and he said, "Sorry, I'm late. My plane had a layover at the Empire State Building." This was like days. This is
I
days
know.
after 9/11. And
It's insane. Is
Yeah.
he's not afraid to go right to the joke.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't go. He doesn't. I mean, I'm sure he has in the past done jokes that are just like, oh, that's too bad.
that
It's
was
too
one
much."
of the
But-
ones where everybody was just like, seriously.
Exactly.
And it's like, and that's why I love the guy.
Yeah.
But no, so the joke would be then that it's too bad he didn't have his Affleck coverage. Because now he can't get sued for that joke. Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries. I was gonna talk about something, but now I'm not gonna because I don't entirely remember what it was.
I'm sorry.
I know last week I talked about that HBO Max is on a
Rocking
roll.
it.
Yeah, they're on a roll. And so I guess I'll just double down on the Lakers show, the winning time.
So last week you mentioned that I should watch
Julia.
Julia,
Yeah.
and we almost got to watching it, but I had third party. My wife was said, "Oh, we're thinking of watching Julia" to her parents, and they apparently watched the whole season front to back and enjoyed that kind of it. So it's like, okay, eventually we're gonna watch it because when I have
Well,
family members say they like it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only a couple episodes out, so that was one thing. If it was if that show was bingeable, I would have already watched the whole season. It's very bingeable, but they've been putting them out week over week.
Slowly.
They dropped 3 episodes on the first weekend, and then they've been week after week. But with the Lakers, the winning time,
Mhm.
I've learned a lot about that I didn't know about basketball from that show.
What's that?
Number one, that Jerry Buss buying the Lakers is what made the NBA what it is now, because nobody was watching basketball. It was boring. It was, just the same old stuff over and over. I knew that he reinvented the Lakers. I didn't realize that he reinvented basketball as a whole. And then it was just a lot of stuff from the background. And then also the dude playing Pat Riley, I just realized yesterday that that's Adrian Brody. I had no idea. I had no clue that was Adrian Brody. That dude can I believe that he is able to reconstruct his face because he can melt into characters and become unrecognizable. Not like what's his face, the Phoenix guy who just looks like a hobo. Joaquin Phoenix. When you see him when he's not in a movie and he just looks like a hobo.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. Those
But-
actors, they look like.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'll double down on winning time. I never been a fan of the Lakers. I don't really care about basketball. John C. Reilly tricked me into watching it, and I'm kind of glad that he did because it's really good and it's funny at times, and they do some cool they have some cool creative choices.
What's the timeline of the show?
It starts with Jerry Buss buying the Lakers in 1979.
Yeah.
1979, 1980. And the first thing he does is draft Magic Johnson.
Okay. Yeah. Magic Johnson, I think, was either 80 or 81.
No, that was that season. Yeah, see, he bought it in 89, so it was like or 79, so it was 79 to 80 season. So he bought it like during the right before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the point where and then at this point in the series, we're a couple games into the first season when their coach has an accident, and we'll find out if Jack McKinney comes back. But yeah, it's good. Stylistically, it's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but there was the scene where they officially hired Paula Abdul to be the lead choreographer for the Laker girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed so hard because they freeze on her and the caption pops up at the bottom. It says Paula Abdul, #1 Laker girl, straight up. And I was not expecting that straight up. And that made me laugh because if any of you remember, Straight Up was her first big hit. Straight Up, now tell me, is it going to be you and me forever?
Oh.
Yeah. Or are you just having fun? I know I was having fun, but we are at the end of the show. So this is the point where we say thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We're here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, whether we want to be or not. So you should be here too. You get to, usually there's a pre-show of some sort. There's most definitely going to be a post-show. You get to submit titles, choose the titles for the all posterity. And otherwise, yeah, if you want to listen to this after the fact, you can go on out to any one of your favorite podcaster catchers and download the show. It's available eventually. Matt thinks that he scoffs at the idea that it's available everywhere. But if you want it faster, you don't want to have to wait for that to come out, become a patron. You get a custom RSS feed. It will be available within hours of us finishing it. So patreon.com/thebot squad. And again, thanks everybody. And we will catch you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.